You're doing in high school?
It's just one of those lifelong things. He keeps showing up everywhere I am. I can't stay away. We went to junior high. We were on the same Little League team. But we weren't best friends. We just floated through each other's lives, and then it was kind of amazing to see him at the final audition for The Office. Fortunately, it was a different role, where things would have gone differently. I wouldn't be here right now. But yeah, lifelong.
That's interesting. You're like, what are you doing here? Who else do you keep in touch with?
Very close with Mindy Kaling. I agree. Paul Lieberson, who plays Toby. I don't know if anyone remembers, this is really obscure, but do you remember characters named Leo and Gino? I think they worked at Vance Refrigeration, maybe. Those are two writers of the show that I'm very close to. So, yeah, they're sprinkled. What's that? Yeah, great memory.
And some fans, yeah. So that's, I think, why we all connect so much is the characters are so real. We can place ourselves at work, sitting next to any of the people on The Office. And which of the actors are the furthest thing from the character they play?
I would, when people visited the set, I would save Leslie David Baker, who plays Stanley, for the big reveal. Because he's so different than his character. He's so grumpy and deadpan as Stanley, and in person, he's Little Richard, kind of. He's so enthusiastic and friendly and expressive. So that was kind of the final stop on the tour in the lunchroom.
It's a good thing to know, though, right? I mean,
yeah. I will say the one who's most similar is Creed. I've never been entirely sure whether Creed knew we were filming a TV show or just thought he worked there. He was that real.
Okay, who would we most likely grab a drink with?
Most likely to grab a drink with? Well, Michael Scott would definitely, whether you wanted to or not, you'd end up having a drink with him, yeah.
Besides you, of course.
Well, I don't think I was the friendliest. Ryan may be chugging a shot in his car by himself.
So obviously we know that you played Brian Howard on The Office and wrote and produced many of the show's most memorable episodes. But I read that you were hired actually as an actor first and then as a writer. So what was it like to navigate writing for a show that you also acted in, or turn everyone to be like, well, now I'm going to be writing your parts too?
Well, I was hired sort of as an actor-writer at the same time. I was performing stand-up in Los Angeles, and Greg Daniels, who was kind of casting about for the show in the way he does, which is really thorough and eclectic. The way he also cast Parks and Recreation, which is another amazing cast, where they pulled all sorts of everyone in that cast is a huge star today. And so he saw me do stand-up and asked to talk after, and he said, I liked your jokes, but what I really liked were the pauses between the jokes, because it seemed like you thought you were better than everyone. And he said, I think it would, which was not my intention, often how I come across, or did come across. And he said, I think it'd be very funny to have a temp who thinks he's better than everyone. And I said, great, sign me up. And he said, and I hear you're also a writer, can I read some of your writing? And at that point I had written a spec script. A spec script is a script that you write of an existing show that will never be aired, but it's just proof that you can do this if called upon. And I had written the show Scrubs, if anyone remembers that.
Woo!
And it was, well, I wasn't actually involved, but I wrote it. It's literally fan fiction. It's convincing fan fiction of Scrubs. So I have that in a drawer somewhere. Anyway, so that combination got me the job as the two jobs. And what was it like? It was, Mindy did that too. Paul, who played Toby, did that too. And then occasionally someone like Steve would write an episode, direct an episode. and Leo and Gino cameoed. So it was kind of a fluid group in the sense that we all felt like we were a gang making a funny show, and it wasn't so much like the writing department and the acting department.
That's great to know.